Welcome to the Transformational Soul Show with your host, Ruth Soltman. Are you ready to experience more stability in your life? You can change your life and be who you are meant to be, your authentic self.
Well, hello and welcome to the Transformational Soul. My name is Ruth Soltman, and right now we are streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, and Twitter. And I want to thank you so much for joining me tonight. I really appreciate each and every one of you. I ask you to please, if you would, hit the like or the thumbs up button and please share. I greatly appreciate that. And if you are here, please say hello in the comments because I'd love to chat with you. Hello, Robert and Richard. And Robert, thank you so much for your super chat. I greatly appreciate that. I invite you and I encourage you to go and check out my website, ruthsoltman.com. It's RUTH, S as in Sam, OL, T as in Tom, M as in Mary, A, N as in Nancy.com. Now you can go to my website and find out about all of my books, my oracle cards, and all of the services that I offer. And you can order directly any of those things right from the website. There are also links for Amazon where you can order my books from Amazon, and all you have to do is click the link. So I made that pretty easy for everyone. Come and join us. We have a Goldylocks Productions group on Telegram. There's so much amazing energy and information. So when I first got on there, when Tiffany first started this group, I made my account. I went on there, Goldylocks Productions, and that's the only thing I've ever done. Well, lately I've been looking around a little bit, and I have noticed and I have found some other really great channels to follow. For example, that Barbara O'Neill, you've heard me talk about her several times. She has a channel. She's all about natural remedies and healing. Cultivate, Elevate, the ones with the amazing 6-mix mushroom blend that Tiffany and I have both talked about on our shows. And there's so much amazing information out there. You just have to know where to look. I'm not one that likes, learning how to work new apps or sites or whatever. I always detest when I have to get a new phone and learn how to use it all over and can never find anything. But I will say that this is pretty easy. I didn't have a hard time with it. I can't imagine anybody else will. Goldylocks Productions also has an online store where you can purchase some awesome merchandise. So check out all of the awesome designs there. Mother's Day is coming up. If your mom loves the shows, there'll be a great thing you can get her for Mother's Day. I'm in the process. It's kind of funny. I have to laugh because I was going to say I'm in the process of setting up my own merchandise store, but I actually started it probably a couple of years ago. I started doing designs, and then, it's still sitting there for me to finish. It's been very time consuming for me. So I just work on it here and there, but I'm feeling like it's almost go time. So there'll be more information about that coming up. And don't forget to check out the Goldylocks Productions Oracle cards, Energize. You can get, there's messages on there from each of the show hosts. We all came up with messages for, I think, 6 or 7 cards each. Tiffany came up with this beautiful design and she put it all together, and the cards are just absolutely amazing. And Tiffany will put the link up for those, and you can order those and have your own set with, messages from us every single day. So I have a question. Did anybody see the full moon last night? Please let me know. Because it seems like every time we have a full moon, we have full cloud coverage. So I want to know if anybody else is experiencing that same thing as well, or if you've been able to see anything. If you would like to give a tip or donation tonight, you can do that via my Venmo, Rumble Rant if you're on Rumble, Super Chat or Super Sticker if you're on YouTube. Your tips and donations are very much appreciated. it does help me to cover the cost of my show each month. And if you do make a donation to Venmo during the show, please put it in the chat so I know, so I can give you a bit longer message. The Spiritual Message Circle this past Saturday was canceled and rescheduled for this upcoming Saturday, the 27th. It will be at 8 p.m. Eastern. So if you have never joined us for that before, I hope you will. It's so much fun. We always have a blast. And something for you to also keep in mind, for the month of May, we will only be having one Spiritual Message Circle, which is going to be May 18th, Saturday, May 18th at 8 p.m. Eastern. There's a lot going on that month, and we have Memorial Day in the U.S., so we'll only have one Spiritual Message Circle that month. So you might want to keep that in mind. I want to wish a very happy birthday to my granddaughter, Hannah, who turned 9 yesterday. Happy birthday, Hannah. Heather Hunter, who I apologize, I missed last week because it was on Thursday after my show, aired on Wednesday, so I hadn't seen it yet. So happy birthday, Heather. Veronica celebrates her birthday tomorrow. Happy birthday, Veronica. My granddaughter, Lily, who is turning 16 tomorrow. Happy birthday, Lily. And everyone who is celebrating a birthday this week. I would like to wish Destiny Reed a very happy heavenly birthday. Destiny, who many of you may remember and have seen her on our shows, reading her comments. She's been in all of our shows, I believe. She made her transition on April 2nd. We wish her well on this next step of her amazing journey. And let's send out some love, light, and healing to Robin McGuire and her son, Caroline Carey's daughter, Carrie, G. Brian Benson, Veronica, Holly, Kim, Maureen, Brandon, and the family of Destiny Reed, and to all who are in need. I know we can all use a little bit extra, can't we? I grew up hearing the word death whenever someone made their transition, like probably all of you did as well. And that word to me always just seems so final, like, it was the end, and like the end of everything. And it's not, it's just the beginning. When one door closes, another door opens. It is the end of our human form, but our spirit or our soul travels on to the next leg of our journey. We merely shed our human form, kind of like, when you change your clothes, right? And then we continue on. I know, when someone makes their transition, we know that that person has returned to source. We know that they have been reunited with loved ones that have gone before them. And we know that they are rejoicing. If they were in pain on this earth, they no longer are, because they're not in that limiting human form. And, so many thoughts just start running through my head whenever I hear someone transitioning. It doesn't matter if it was someone close to me, someone that was an acquaintance, or someone who was maybe a social media friend that, I rarely or maybe even never talked to. Because I know in the last 4 years, every time I get on social media, at least once a week, it has happened. And it's been a lot of pets too. But I always start, it makes me, all these questions and things go through my mind. And I wonder, did they leave anything undone before they left? I wonder if they did everything they desired to do while they were here. I wonder if, they let fear hold them back from doing the things they wanted to do. I wonder if they thought they would have more time. That was one thing that really surprised me when my mom said that to me. She said, that's the one thing she said, I just thought I would have more time. And from the time she found out that she was unwell. It was almost 2 years. It was almost 2 years, which that's I think is, from the medical profession view, that was a decent amount of time. But she always felt like she would have more time. And I think we all feel like that. I think we feel like that all the time. That's why we put things off. That's why we hesitate to move forward, because we always figure, oh, we have time. We have time. And I wonder if they live their life in the moment. I think about loved ones that are left behind, who are devastated and grieving, knowing that their lives are changed forever. And I feel that so much for people because I've experienced it, and most of us have. When I was a kid, I'd never had anyone that I knew transitioned, and my dad's dad, who, we might have saw him a handful of times all of our lives, he did when I was in my first year of high school. And the thing that I remember most about that, like, I didn't know the man. I didn't feel that sense of grieving because I didn't feel like I had had a loss. And I don't know if that might sound, kind of mean or cruel, but I was a kid and that's just what my experience was. But what I remember was, and thinking this so many times, what's wrong with my dad? When is he going to go back to being normal? When is he going to go back to being himself? And it was because of the grief that he was going through. And that was my first experience. And it looks different. I was kind of seeing it as an outsider pretty much. And it looked completely different than when I experienced it myself. And there is no time limit on grief. It takes as long as it takes. And that's okay, because we're all different. We all grieve different. We work through things differently. So it's okay. It doesn't matter how long it takes you. But you can't stay stuck in that place forever, right? You have to work through that. Good night, Richard. Have a great night at work. I got your name down. Thank you so much for joining us. Oh, well, thank you, Richard. Thank you. Thank you, Tiffany. Then I start thinking about myself, right? After I start processing what they must have went through, what their families must have went through. And I don't know if it's just, because I'm empathic or compassionate. I don't know what it is that, I start having this little reel in my head. But then I start thinking about myself. And I start thinking, I kind of like puts things in more perspective for me. It kind of makes me check myself. You know what I mean? Am I doing all that I can? Am I fulfilling my purpose right now? Am I living in the moment? Am I being the best version of myself? All of these things come to mind. And usually they all come to mind at the same time. I don't know if anyone else has those kinds of thought processes, but a lot of times that's how it works for me. And sometimes, all those questions can be overwhelming. It's kind of like being with a 3-year-old who asks questions constantly all day long. But, everything in nature appears to die, doesn't it? The trees lose their leaves in the fall. The grass turns brown and stops growing. The flowers all kind of, the petals fall off. Then they kind of like shrivel up. But in actuality, it's more like it is a deep sleep, kind of like they're hibernating. Because when the spring comes, everything comes alive again. The trees bud new leaves, the flowers grow and bloom, the grass turns green, and it starts growing again. It is all reborn. And so are we. We are reborn through each and every experience that we have. We learn, we grow, and we evolve. We don't come out of these experiences as completely different people. Rather, we are reborn into an improved version of ourselves, a better version of ourselves. We are we're an aspect of nature, right? We're part of nature. And our bodies may longer be alive, but our spirit or our soul certainly is. That is why we can still communicate with our loved ones that have crossed over. That is why we still can feel them around us. And that is why their love lives on in our hearts. And that is one way that we can really keep our loved ones alive for ourselves and for our families is by remembering them. Tell stories about them. And it's a lot of fun when you do start, telling memories or stories, because when you're around several family members, a lot of times they haven't heard those stories. So they can totally visualize that happening, especially since they knew the person. And, it can just really give you that warm, fuzzy feeling, feeling of total love. Now, shortly after I found out about Destiny, this amazing post popped up in my Facebook feed. And it was posted in a group called Earth, We Are One. The poster's name was Rajan Chudasama. Now, I'm not a member of this group, but the post just showed itself on my profile page. So it really sums things up in a simple way. And it really helps us to put all of this thing we call life into perspective. And it's really, really beautiful. So I want to share it with you. It is called The Train. At birth, we boarded the train and met our parents. And we believe they will always travel by our side. As time goes by, other people will board the train. And they will be significant, like our siblings, friends, children, strangers, and even the love of your life. However, at some station, our parents will step down from the train, leaving us on this journey alone. Others will step down over time and leave a permanent vacuum. Some, however, will go so unnoticed that we don't realize they vacated their seat. The train ride will be full of joy, sorrow, fantasy, expectations, hellos, goodbyes, and farewells. Success consists of having a good relationship with all passengers, requiring that we give the best of ourselves. The mystery to everyone is we do not know at which station we ourselves will step down. So we must live in the best way, love, forgive, and offer the best of who we are. It is important to do this because when the time comes for us to step down and leave our seat empty, we should leave behind beautiful memories for those who will continue to travel on the train of life. And when I first read this on Facebook, I was like I had all these images in my mind, and I could totally visualize this physical train and all these people. Oh, wait, I didn't finish it. Hold on. I wish you a joyful journey for the coming years on your train of life. Reap success, give lots of love, and be happy. More importantly, thank God for the journey. Lastly, I want to thank you for being one of the passengers on my train. And I just think that is so beautiful. And when I was reading it, like I started to tell you, I visualized it as I read it, the train and the people getting on and off, and it makes perfect sense. Being that we are spiritual beings living in a human body, it is hard sometimes, difficult and complicated for us to wrap our head around spiritual, what's the word? Spiritual situations, spiritual things that happen. And transitioning is one of those things. It can be very hard for our human mind to comprehend, even though that spirit part of us already knows and it is all ready to go. And it's just, waiting for the right time. And we don't know when we're going to step off that train. None of us do. Whatever has been holding you back from living your best life, from following your dreams, and from doing all the things that you desire, let it go. Let this be a reminder and a wake-up call to all of us that the time is now. And we say this all the time. The time is now. Why put it off? Why put it off? Don't put off that phone call. Don't put off starting that new career. Don't put your life on hold waiting for this to happen or waiting for that to happen. If you continue to put things off, you may not get the chance to do them later. Truth be told, all we have is now. All we have. And, think about how many people do you know that, they'll plan out everything. And, okay, we're going to be married for 5 years, then we're going to start a family. And then at this point, we're going to do this, this. And it never happens. Or the people that make all these plans for when they retire. Then they retire and one of them, is struck with some, ill health and they're not able to travel. Don't put those things off. Don't put those things off. There is no time that's any better than right now. And when we do transition, it happens in an instant. We may, know people who have had an illness and have been sick for many years. But actually, leaving our bodies, it's like instantaneous. And I know because I did witness this with my mom. I actually saw the life force leave her body. And it was like in a split second, but it was just the most incredible thing to witness. But we don't know when our time will come. So live every moment to the fullest. Every moment. Hi, Sam. Nice to see you. And don't spend your time here doing things that you don't like or don't want to do or that don't resonate with you, things that you can't connect with. Value your time. Respect your time. Do for others. Be of service to someone else. Show kindness. Show compassion. And leave a legacy of love and kindness for generations to come. In comparison to our journey, right? Because our journey is just endless. Our time on earth is very short when you compare it. It's too short to not be happy as much as possible. And remember that happiness is a choice, and it's something that we can choose every single day. So if you've been, and I do this, I've done this, I try not to anymore since I realized that I do this, but a lot of times I'll have that thought, I want to do this, but, it's going to go on the back burner for a while because I just don't feel like I have time to dedicate to this right now. But somewhere down the line, I'm going to get to it. And then 2 years later, I realized, oh, wow, I never did that. Just like with my merchandise store. I started designs probably 2 years ago. And I think it might have been a year and a half. But I think it was over the holiday weekend of the Christmas break. And I was like, I'm going to see what this is like, and I'm going to try this. And I came up with a bunch of designs, but I just never, it never came to a conclusion. It was never completely finished. And then I completely forgot about it because I started on other stuff. And I will say that lately, like I have a list. It's not as long as I thought it was going to be, but I have a list of things I want to finish up and other things I want to start. I'm not starting anything new until I finish up my other stuff. Even though I've been getting lots of stuff lately that have been coming to me that, ooh, this would be good for you. Ooh, this would be good for you. Ooh, this would be good for you. So I'm just writing them down. I'm saving information. I'm going to go through stuff. Some things I have to like research. So it just takes time. It just takes time. And it will get done. It will get done when it's the right time. Just like with the merchandise store. I know I started that a while ago, but I never felt like it was the right time. And now I'm starting to feel like it is. So everything happens with divine timing. Everything is done in divine time. No matter how much we might try to rush something or slow something down, if it's not the right time, it's not going to happen for you then. For example, maybe you think that you've healed and you're ready for a relationship. And you just put that out there, I want this person to come to me. I want to meet this person. And you have all these ideas of exactly the kind of person you want. But you wait and wait around for a while and you wait. And you're like, why am I not manifesting this person? And it's because the universe knows, even though you don't think so and you don't know, the universe knows that you are not ready. You have more healing to do. Now, that's just one kind of example. There's many different things, and you can look at ways to apply that in your life as well. So many times we feel that we're ready. Sometimes it's just out of that feeling of you want it so badly. But you got to remember, you've got to do the work too. Sometimes that work requires healing old issues. Sometimes that work requires starting something new or doing something different. And you will figure that out as you go along. You will definitely figure that out. And I pulled a card for the whole group. And I love this. It's number 44, which 44, that's my birthday, which I like that. And it says, you know the way. Hello, Sarah. Nice to see you. And this is trust your intuition on this journey. And we have to trust our intuition. We absolutely have to. It's like, our intuition is like that GPS in your car. It guides us in the right direction. You tell it where you want to go, and it'll tell you how to get there. And that's what our intuition does, right? Sometimes we get downloaded tons of information at one time. Sometimes it's a feeling. Sometimes it's some people will hear a voice that speaks to them. Some people will see something. But once you start trusting it and start using it and start practicing with it, it will get so strong. It will be so strong. And the stronger that it is, the more it empowers you to trust it more. So you have to learn to trust that intuition. And, I'm not suggesting you do anything that I have not done. When I first started listening to my intuition, I didn't know, is that just my wishful thinking? Is that just what I want? Or is that really what my intuition is telling me? And it took practice. It took practice to be able to differentiate if that was all in my head and my own wishful thinking, or if that was my inner guidance. And once you really start listening, you will be able to tell the difference. And then the more you practice, it's like a muscle. The more you practice, the stronger it gets. And, sometimes still, I play little games with myself just to see how some days I feel like it's a lot stronger than other days. And sometimes I'll play like little games. Like I'll pick up my phone and I'll say to myself, okay, it's 9:28, and I'll look at the time and it'll be 9:28, or very close. Or I'll say, how much charge do I still have left on my phone, and I'll pick up percentage. And when you do these little things, it will amaze you at how accurate you can be. The more you practice, like I always like to find little ways like that to practice, because that helped me learn to trust it. So many times, like in the beginning, I would do like my little phone thing, and I would be like, this number would come to me, 11%, 11, 11, 11. Like, no. Okay, I've only been using my phone for a little bit today. I think it's probably more like 45. And I would look at my phone and it would freaking be 11. And I'm like, I should have went with my first gut instinct, because that's what your intuition is. Don't let your head tell you differently. Follow that. Let it guide you. It's so important. And not listening to your intuition is kind of like traveling without a map or a GPS. You have no idea where you're going. You have no idea how to get there. And it can keep you lost. It can keep you lost for a long time. And it can take you, way out of your way off of your original route. So don't let that happen. Start listening to it. Start letting it guide you in your life. We all have that. A lot of, there's people that say, oh, that's hogwash, all this new age crap and stuff. We all have that. And, a lot of times, and I used to do this, I would say, well, that's my mother's intuition, or that's my woman's intuition, because people don't, they kind of like, oh, okay, yeah, I get that. When you say, I'm following my intuition, I'm following my inner guidance, they kind of look at you like, but after, years of trusting it and knowing what it was, that I really didn't care what anybody called it. It didn't really matter, because I knew what it was. And the only times that I feel like in my life that I have really made, and I shouldn't say the wrong decision, but maybe the one that, took me a lot longer to get somewhere. The only time was when I didn't follow my intuition and I thought, oh, my head knows more. My head knows better. It doesn't. It really doesn't. And we all have to learn to follow that inner voice. And the other card that I pulled for everyone, it says, say yes. We're always saying it's okay to say no. It's okay to say yes as well. And it says, now is the time to be open and receive. We can't receive things if we are closed off. We have to be open. We have to be open. And I know there's a lot of people who are givers, and that's what there's just their nature. They're very nurturing people. They're very giving people. They would do anything for people, They would give their shirt off their back for someone if they needed it. They'd give someone their last dollar. And I have found in life that for people that are so overly giving, it's very difficult for them to receive. So you have to be open to receiving. Because if you're not open to receiving and you block that off or you close that off, how is all the good that is waiting out there for you going to come to you? Hello, Robin. Nice to see you. Oh, awesome. Robin's been listening while she cooks. Thank you. Thank you. And, so we have to think about that as well. And I am one of those people that it was always very hard for me, to be a receiver. But once I figured out that has to be an open channel, the giving and the receiving, and one time I read also that when you don't allow someone to give to you, you're taking away their blessing. And that hit me really, really hard because I put myself in the other place of me being the giver and wanting to give something to someone and them being like, oh no, I can't take that. I don't want that. I would be crushed, right? Because giving brings us joy. It brings us a lot of joy. It brings joy to the giver. It brings joy to the receiver. So it's a win-win situation. But that is something that's, I had to learn how to do it gracefully. Or taking a compliment is another one. How many people out there are like that, Wow. Anytime someone gives you a compliment, your immediate reaction, it's not, your immediate reaction is not like, oh, thank you. I appreciate that. No, it's you compliment them back. Oh, your hair looks beautiful today. Oh, yeah, yours does too. Be gracious and accept compliments. People say them, that's an act of kindness. And you don't want to, take away from that for anyone. Just all these little things that like we don't normally, at least I don't, like think about, like the compliment thing. I think a lot of that had to do with not loving myself enough as well. Not that I was horribly mean to myself or anything, but you have to be in a place with yourself where that person's telling you the truth, right? They're not just being nice and saying, oh, you look really great today. They're not just saying it. They mean it. And you have to be, have to realize that and know that it's true for yourself. I apologize for my little dog. She hears the kids outside playing in the yard and she's kind of like going crazy here. But yes, and there are so many things that we do with ourselves like that we don't even think about. We don't even think about it. So we all need to be kinder to ourselves. But this is stuff that we weren't taught. We didn't see our parents doing it. I know, like just for example, the compliment thing. I don't remember hearing that between other people a lot when I was a kid. Which is, I just happened to think about that, but I don't recall that. Maybe I did. It's not something that really sticks out in my memory or in my mind, but we all need to be kinder to ourselves, right? So much kinder. It's sometimes, when, like, even with, we talk about having a healthy lifestyle with the food and the water and the exercise and nature, but also what we watch and what we listen to is very, very powerful. If I turn on a show and people are just putting each other down, or they're just saying, talking so negatively about themselves, like I get this feeling like in the pit of my stomach, and I turn it. I can't watch that. Well, thankfully, because it doesn't resonate with me. I just don't like to hear it. Sometimes it will actually like hurt my ears. It's kind of crazy. I know. I can't watch anything that's like really violent. There was this movie one time, many, many, many years ago, I started to watch. The first 10 minutes of the movie was like and I didn't even know there was like a lot of violence in this movie. But like the first 10 minutes was like the most violent stuff I've ever seen. I couldn't get through the first 10 minutes even. And I turned it off. And I would try to watch it in another time. Then I'd turn it off. I just could not stomach it. It just has such a low energy to it for me. Such a low vibration. And that's not, where I want to be. I want to be raising my vibration, watching things that resonate with me, watching things where people treat each other with kindness, like the Hallmark movies. A lot of people will knock that, but they have a lot of stuff on there that's like very family oriented. I like the family movies too. Um, a lot of times they're really good. And just those ones that, you can learn from the person's experience, or learn something new, or it might spark an idea in you. You might be like, wow, I would really love to do that. That really, really resonates with me. We never know where we're going to get information like that from, or messages, or what things are going to trigger us. So always keep your mind open, keep your heart open, keep all of your senses open, because things will come to us through any of our senses. And just to show you how powerful that stuff is, think of a song, like maybe when you were a teenager and you broke up in your first relationship and you were devastated. What was the one song you listened to? And you put it on now, and it will take you right back there, and you will have a lot of those same feelings. Certain songs that were played at my parents' funerals, when I hear them, it takes me right back there. I feel that sense of loss. I feel that sense of grief. So music is very, very powerful, very powerful. So use it wisely. Music has such a strong vibration, and it can bring you way up, or it can bring you way down. Pay attention. Pay attention to how your body feels and how your body reacts. Okay. I am going to write some names down here and give you guys some messages, because I just realized what time it was. Sarah, Robin, and let's see if I missed anybody here. I don't think I did, no. Okay. Now, the first message, and if you guys have a question, okay, I do have my pendulum, and I also have my angel number book. So if you have a question about a number, you want to know the meaning, or you have a specific yes or no question, I would be happy to answer those for you as well. Shh. Okay, Robert. Okay, I know I pulled this card last week, but I don't remember if it was for you or not. It's number 18. It says, it is okay. No, I know who it was. It is okay to be misunderstood. Perception is not always based on the truth. Perception, when we hear something, the way we perceive it is through the experiences that we've had regarding that, maybe, or just the experiences that we've had. Also, wherever we are at in our life at that very moment, what things we are going through. When we're in, if we just broke up in a relationship and we're really down in the dumps about it, we're going to see things a little clouded compared to if we were, very happy that day or very up that day. It makes a difference on how we see things. So if you feel like when you're expressing yourself, that people are not understanding you the way you think that they should, or the way that you want them to, know that it's all coming from their own perspective, their own point of view. You could stand there and tell someone something 25 times, and they may never, ever get it, because they can't understand, where you're coming from. Ooh, Robert. The other card I pulled for you is number 29, and it says, run wild. Let your inner wild child run forth. And we talk a lot about tapping in to our inner child. That was back when we used to do things just for the pure joy, the pure enjoyment, the pure pleasure that things gave us. We didn't worry about anything else. If we didn't want to do something, we said, I don't want to do that. You know, that was before we had filters, right? And then we started filtering what we say and how we say it. So let loose a little bit, Robert. Let that inner child come out more and more. What things did you love to do as a child? Maybe you had some kind of a hobby. Maybe you had a love of Legos. I mean, I don't know, but I know there is something. Now, if that's the case, do some of that. And it will bring back a lot of that childish nature while you're, engaging in those activities. And that can be a lot of fun. So I hope that resonates with you, Robert. And Richard. Richard had to go off to work. We hope he is having a great night at work. You deserve to be seen, Richard. Number 42. Let yourself be known. Do not hide. Do not hide. Step right out there, right into the spotlight. Be the leader of your own life. You deserve that. You deserve to be seen. You deserve to be heard. You deserve to be acknowledged. So don't let anyone try to put you down or, push you to the back, because you need to be right there in the front, taking charge and showing the world exactly who Richard Riddle is. So I hope that resonates with you, Richard. Sam. Let's see what we have for you. You're welcome, Robert. Sam, what do we have for you? Okay, your card is number 6, and it says, become aware. Oh, I like this. Listen to the wisdom of the body. It's a beautiful, beautiful picture. Let me tell you about the wisdom of the body. Our bodies know. They know when we're hungry. They know when we're thirsty. They know when we need to go to the restroom. They know when we need sleep. We just have to listen to that. Have you ever had a time where you're like, I'm really hungry. I think I want to make, let's just say, for example, a hamburger. But you have this gut feeling that what you really, really, really want is some stir fry. But you're like, no, the burger would be a lot easier and it'll probably fill me up more. I'm going to go with the burger. But all that while, your gut is telling you, no, you want the stir fry. So you eat the burger, not listening to your intuition. You eat that burger, and then you feel sick to your stomach, or you feel too overfull, and it just doesn't sit right with you. And then you remember, oh yeah, my body was telling me it wanted those stir-fry vegetables, but instead I ate the burger. So be aware of what your body is telling you. I know with all of this energy stuff that's been going on, up and down with the energy waves, all these different things coming in, the Schumann resonance being up and down like a roller coaster, as Tiffany put it, the full moon, all this planetary stuff. I've been hit with a lot of energy, and it gave me headaches, it gave me nausea, problems sleeping, not getting restful sleep, a lot of nausea, a lot. No matter if I ate, if I didn't eat, didn't matter what I ate, a lot of nausea, which that's pretty much gone now. But now I've noticed a lot of, it's almost like what I feel like is as the energy is working through my body, it's taking care and dissolving some things that don't need to be there anymore. And it's kind of working it through. And that's all the stuff that I'm feeling. And like I've had pain in some of my joints, my knees. But it's like intermittent. It's not constant. And today, my new one today is my right foot, my left foot, the top of my foot. When I step down on my foot, it feels like my foot is broken. Okay. It feels like it's broken. I'm like, where is this pain coming from? And it wasn't every single time, but it's making me notice, because it'll be kind of intense for a moment, and it's making me very aware of my body and everything that it's feeling at the moment. So just be aware of everything that is going on in your body, what it's telling you it needs, what it's telling you it wants, because it knows, it knows way more than our mind does. Sarah. Number 26. Oh, and you got a rainbow, and I don't know, maybe, I can't tell what kind of bird this is. I think it might be an eagle. I'm not sure because of the way it's pictured, but this is practice freedom. Release the weight of judgment. Now, as soon as I saw this card, the first thing that came to me was, don't worry and don't concern yourself with what anybody thinks about you. Your opinion is the only one that matters. You are the one that has to be happy and content with yourself. And I know when we're influenced a lot by our families, and I'm going to say that more than friends, because families can have a lot of control over someone through manipulation, through guilt, the way families sometimes do. Now, I don't know if your family is like this, but what I'm saying is release yourself from the idea that everyone or anyone else's opinion of you matters. Nobody is you except you. Nobody is living your life except you. Nobody is experiencing the thoughts that you are having, the experiences that you are having, except you. So some people will always try to judge someone else, always. But you have to just let that fall on deaf ears, like water rolling off of a duck's back. You can't even let it faze you, because what they say about you is coming from where they are and their own perspective. If they are people that are not doing anything at all to try to heal their issues, if they are people that are just kind of still living in the fog of what they think reality is, if they haven't woken up to the truth of who they are, they're not going to see anything clearly, right? They're going to see it all through this lens. And a lot of times it's kind of like seeing it through that tunnel vision. They only see one thing and immediately jump to certain conclusions. And yes, sometimes people will always do that. But we just have to, not let it concern us, because you know what? What they think about anything in our situation or any decisions we make or anything that we do, it's what they think is none of our business. So we don't even need to concern ourselves. And once you do that and you get rid of that need to have someone else's approval, you're going to experience freedom like you have never experienced before. Sarah said, yes, there's something coming up this weekend and I'm made to feel guilty for my decision. Well, I can remember times when my mom, and like this was kind of in a joking manner sometimes, where I didn't want to do something she might have wanted me to do, and she was trying to make me feel guilty. And I just flat out told her. And I don't even know where this came from, because I was pretty young when I told her this. But I'm like, guilt is not something that I experience. I do not feel guilt about anything. I do not. And that's very true. I don't. So I can never let people guilt me into things, which is nice. But what I realized was everything, and I said this my whole entire life, and then one day it just clicked. Everything happens for a reason. So if everything happens for a reason, and everything happens the way it's supposed to, why is there anything at all for me to feel guilty about? There isn't. Nothing. Nothing at all. But as humans, we want to please our family, we want to please our parents, we want to please our significant others, and sometimes we'll do things that we don't even want to do. But that can cause a place for resentment and anger to come in. So you have to refrain from doing things that you don't want to do just because someone tries to manipulate or guilt you into doing them. You have to do what's best for you and your highest and best good. Robin. Oh, this is beautiful. Number 39, Robin. And it says, you are wanted. There is a home waiting within. Look at that. See, wherever you go, there is your home because you bring it with you, right? You bring it with you. Everything that you need is already inside of you. And it's the same for all of us. Everything that we need, everything that we think that we're out there looking for, we already have it in here. And if we don't have it in here, we need to create that for ourselves. Because number one, we're worth it. Number two, how are we going to share it with anyone else if we don't have it first to share? That's a really cool picture too. So make that special place for yourself. Go within, figure out exactly what it is you want to create, Robin. Exactly what you want. Because it's all just waiting there for you. And that's like really, really exciting. That's really exciting. Okay. Robin said, amazing. Thank you. You are so welcome. Thank you so much. I needed to hear that. Nope. You are so welcome, Sarah. I love and appreciate you guys so much. Okay, Tiffany, I just pulled a card for you, and I find this really kind of cool. It's number 37, and it says, write a letter. My first thought was, write a letter. Who does that anymore? A lot of people do still. Write a letter to your inner child. I have done this before in some kind of a spiritual kind of class, like when I was like in my 20s. And it was writing a letter to your inner child. And it was really fun to do. And it was really cool to do. And what it did was, as I was writing it, it opened up some kind of doorway or something, because I remembered a lot of things that I had forgotten about. A lot of things about myself. Things I used to enjoy, or things that, were really fun for me when I was a kid, or kids that I hung out with and what we liked to do, the kind of music I listened to. So it can be a lot of fun. So that is my message for you, Tiffany. Write a letter to your inner child. Okay. I love and appreciate you too. Robin says, I needed to hear this. Awesome. Thank you guys so much for being here. I am so grateful for each and every one of you. I really, really, truly am. I look forward to my Wednesdays with you every single week. And I can be having a really rough day on Wednesdays. I can be like way behind getting ready for stuff on Wednesdays. I can wake up with a cold in my eye, and have my eye being all yucky and think maybe I, should cancel my show. But I don't, because I love being here with you guys. I love the energy. I love the love that I get from each and every one of you. And that just makes me even appreciate you more than I already do. Thank you so much for being here with me. I want all of you to have an amazing week. Have a lot of fun over the weekend. Come and join us on the Spiritual Message Circle. And I will see you next Wednesday. I love every single one of you. Good night.